All right, now we just gotta wait for Adam. What's up, man?
Hey, how's my volume?
Uh, Pretty loud, but it's okay. I can fix it.
All right, here. Let me see if I can make my mic less sensitive. I also am just a very loud person in general,
Well, I just
unfortunately.
fixed it already, so it's okay.
All right, great.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, man. How'd the draft go?
I think the draft went well for me. I was initially planning on building a trick room team,
Okay. Is that not
just
what you
because
have
it's
now?
a. Do you know what trick room does, Drew? Are you familiar?
I do, but I have no idea the speeds of any of these Pokemon.
Okay, well, I mean, as you can guess, the objective is to draft fat, slow Pokemon that deal a lot of damage, and you set up your Trick Room, then you switch into one of those Pokemon, and then for like 3 turns, they can go wild.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun strategy, although it can be trivialized. And as I was testing it, I came up against someone with Banded Dracovish, and I lost because Trick Room has negative priority, so it doesn't matter how fast any of your mons are. You can just you Trick Room always goes second, and
Gotcha.
so I couldn't get up Trick Room. I couldn't revenge kill it. My team just died, and then that kind of made me rethink of it. And then really, I kind of decided to do the whole fuck it strategy after who was it?
James
Uh,
picked Dracovish.
not Dracovish. Dracovish was one of the mods I'm thinking of adding to my Trick Room team, but it was really when Jake picked Magirna.
Oh. Okay.
Magirna's just, I mean, just generally really, really strong. And it also has Trick Room. Plus, it has Soul Heart, so every time you kill a Pokemon or a Pokemon faints, you get an attack boost, so you can essentially set up and sweep pretty easily with them on. And it's the most important Trick Roomers. And so it's like very crucial to any Trick Room team that you have Magirna just because of how powerful it is. And
Right.
so since that wasn't available, it would make my team significantly weaker regardless of who else I picked. So I decided to change strategy to something a little more flexible where I decided to go. I first just drafted Mega Mawile because I love Mega Mawile.
Hmm.
But then since Tapu Koko was still available, I decided to take Koko because Coco has dual screens and it also has a really great speed tier. So essentially, my team is setting up dual screens and then sending in my other mons to set up and try to sweep my opponent.
Gotcha. So you picked just like pretty solid Pokemon that can do stuff after you gave up on the Trick Room play. So you just picked like good Pokemon overall. You don't have like a strategy going in anymore. Like you know what I mean? Like you're not a Rain team. You're not a Trick Room team. You're just
Well, I mean, there is some strategy to dual screens. I mean, it's kind of unga bunga strategy.
gotcha.
So Tapu Koko goes out first. Um, it clicks light screen, it clicks reflect, then it U turns out, and then I go into to potentially set up and sweep.
Gotcha. Was there any Pokemon that you picked that you were like particularly excited to have on your team that you're excited to play with and use?
Um, Actually, I mean, I this was very late. I mean, all the other mons I drafted. This was a ad drop right after the draft, so it probably doesn't show up on my roster.
Gotcha.
Um, but after putting a little more, looking a little more into it, one mon I'm actually really excited for is from Tier 5. It sounds kind of, I mean, obviously none of the Tier 5 mons are fantastic, but I picked up Vanillix.
Okay. Yeah. Ice
I'm
Cream.
really, I'm really excited to use this mon because it has access to this ice move called Freeze Dry, which deals super effective damage to water types.
Oh.
And
Wow.
so the typical ice switch in, which is water, you will receive super effective damage. And what's also great about this Pokemon is that it has the ability Snow Warning, which means when it enters, it'll summon hail.
That's pretty good. That disrupts two of the
So
weather teams.
yes, that is why I decided to pick it up
That's very smart.
because
Well,
Yes, it hopefully James Boys will not be prepared, and I will click freeze dry. And since all of his mons on his team are water except for Ferrothorn, I will just be able to sweep his team with ice cream cone,
yeah,
and
wow.
that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, answers. I was gonna ask what team are you most excited to play against, and what team are you least excited to play against?
Ooh, let me double check the rosters. I mean, definitely, I'm always scared of Greg just because I remember in high school, Jeremy and I would play Pokemon against him, and he would just always beat up on us.
Yep, that's what
And
Greg
so
did in high school.
no matter which Pokemons Gregs have, even though I really like Venusaur Mega is really strong, Volcanion is really strong. I really like Cobalion, Zeraora. None of them are like as Pokemon like Scream, like super overpowered, super scary. But I can have a feeling that he's going to come up with some way
Yeah,
to
Greg
put a
is.
team together
Yeah,
that's
Greg is
going to sweep.
very confident in his team. He's very
Yeah,
happy with what he picked. Actually, everybody seems to be pretty happy with what they picked so far.
yeah. I'm worried about that Orbeetle. I did some more research. It has sticky webs and dual screens, so I imagine that's a strategy.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have to counter build against that. But that's actually I find playing the matches too stressful just because I'm a very competitive person
Right.
and I dislike to lose. Even if it's against friends, I still dislike to lose.
Yeah, that's. I
So
mean, that's fair.
I mean, I think I'll have more fun this time because I mean, I think I took Little Cup a little too seriously.
Yeah, but everybody is here. I was talking to some of the other people about it during the interviews. Everyone here takes this a lot more seriously than they did Little Cup. So I think you'd fit in, or like that mentality fits in a lot more here, being competitive.
Yeah. I mean, what's nice about dual screens is I don't have to think too much about strategy. I can kind of let the overpowered Pokemon I pick just do damage.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, was there a Pokemon that was picked outside of, I guess, tier one or like the first and second round? Was there a Pokemon that was picked that you were like, oh man, I really wish I had that? Like, were you bummed about any picks that you couldn't get?
Definitely Ludicolo, just because that was my initial anti-James Boys strategy. And I was looking as like, oh, what Pokemon would kind of counter his team? And I was like, oh, Ludicolo, it's grass and water, it has Swift Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. He can set up rain for me, and then I can potentially abuse his own rain and beat him. But he was smart enough to pick that mon up,
Yeah.
um, which is scary. Although I think Vanillix will be the better pick just because I'll be able to remove the rain instead of relying on one mon to take advantage of it, which I think will be more valuable in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. So, how do you feel coming into this season? You're playing against a lot of people you haven't played against before, outside of Little Cup, which is kind of like a different experience, right?
Yeah, completely.
So, how do you feel coming into this draft?
Um, I just want to make playoffs. I just because it's fun playing matches. Although I think for the league structure, everyone makes playoffs.
Yes, everybody makes playoffs, but I think your seeding sort of depends on stuff.
Yeah, which understandable. So I definitely think regular season, I'm probably not going to take things as seriously. I might play a little more reckless than I would.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, obviously, the higher seed you are, I'm not sure it'll be set up if it's
Yeah,
the top seeds will automatically be in winners, and if you're at the bottom, you'll have to start off in losers, which means if you lose once, then you're out. I'm not sure if that's how.
I don't think that's how it works. I think it becomes a double elimination bracket.
Okay.
So, but you cannot change. You cannot add or drop once playoffs begins. Whatever team you
Yeah.
start playoffs with is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean
Yeah. I
that's
mean, I'm most excited for being able to watch all the matches and to watch everyone play. And I mean, the format's just really exciting
yeah.
because I played Pokemon Showdown a lot. I used to be really big into it a couple years ago. My crowning achievement is in Gen 7, I think, I made it into the top 100 on the OU ladder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I definitely felt at one point, I mean, I was really, really strong at Pokemon. Um, and so this format will be nice is because bladdering with a team is you face a lot of the common meta threats time, which has its positives and negatives.
Hmm.
And you also don't really know what you're going to be facing up against. So it's harder to take advantage of the diverse move sets of your team. And so, given that I know what my opponents are and all the Pokemon they have, I should be able to strategize better for the matches, which I think is the funnest part. It's fun looking at someone's team and trying to counter build against them so that you don't get beat.
Yeah. No, it's dope. I think draft is really cool in every format because you don't see just the same meta stuff over and over again, and that you can get to see like what you're up against and have interesting
Yeah.
plans.
It's the forced diversity is really nice and very refreshing.
Yeah. All right, Em. Thanks so much for talking. All right, man.
Yeah,
Good luck with the league. It's been great.
yeah. I heard that you will potentially be commentating on matches. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and then we'll get videos and stuff for it too.
Are you? Is this stuff going to be streamed?
Uh, Most likely, but maybe
Oh,
not
cool.
live, because it depends on when people stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So I might just.
Um, is there any reason you decided you didn't want to participate in the
Uh,
draft?
well, Adam, I my gaming skills are all reflex based. So
I
I
see.
have zero like my strategy is very limited and my patience is very limited. So I just don't have it in me to sit down and make strategies. I'm a Twitch game player. It's Twitch reflex stuff. Pokemon's a little too smart for your boy. All right.
Yeah. Uh, which is kind of nice because I find when I play Smash against people, my reaction times are just so poor, and it doesn't matter if I try to outspace or come up with some strategy. I just let my reaction times down. So it's nice that it's turn based. I can actually strategize, and unless I misclick, which happens,
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
Jeff just said in the chat that if he played Draft League, he would be playing Unga Bunga, which is exactly how I would play. In Little Cup, I didn't use a single move that didn't deal damage.
I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah. I don't
You
know.
don't have to, you don't have to think as much, and you just exert so much pressure on your opponent that you'll eventually break through their core, and then there's nothing else they can do.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like not confident in like doing strategies. I'd rather just deal damage.
Hey, you did pretty well in Little Cup. You're the only person to take a game off me,
That
so
is true. That's crazy that you brought it up. That's so crazy. I haven't mentioned it once actually this entire stream. But uh thanks for talking, Adam. All right, we got to go do the
yeah,
last
that
two
was fun.
things.
Have a good night, Drew.
Yeah, good night.